Today, I just want to remind you guys to think ahead because the thing is, you know, I believe what a lot of people believe about life, what a lot of my mindsets are is that if I make the right decisions, that things will always work out. Now, of course, as a Christian, as a believer, you know that the Bible doesn't promise those things. And the reason why is because you got to think about it like this. Even if I make all the right decisions, what about other people's decisions, right? The way I like to think of it is life is full of variables. There's many things that can go wrong, many things that can go right. Let's say if, you know, I do all the right things, I make all the right decisions in my life. But what if someone feels offended by a decision I made and then they decide to take a different action? And because of the action that they take, what if another person takes this action against them? Right? So there's many moves that can happen, which is why it's imperative to think 4 or 5 moves ahead. We can't just keep being limited to this small-minded thinking of 1 or 2 moves. If I just do this, then this will happen. If I do that, then this will produce this. Like if I do this, then this will lead to my child doing this. And if my child does this, then their friends will be like that. And if their friends will be like that, our community will eventually be shaped into this mold that I've created. Or if I don't discipline my child a certain way, and they are influenced by their friends who are kids as well, and their friends are living a certain way, then my child will be living a certain way. And then when they have kids, their kids will be a certain way, right? So it's always a series of moves, and that's in a perfect world that things will go in that direction. What if it's different? What if, in this world right now, in the society that we live in right now, people get offended about anything. A word you say can offend somebody. A look that you give can offend somebody. Heck, stepping on somebody's shoe has gotten people killed. So it's so imperative to think ahead. And I'm from Texas. I live in Texas. So a lot of times, we on the road and people do crazy things like they'll make a move that suits them in this occasion. Like right in this moment, this move is good for you. But they're not thinking from my perspective, what you're doing is literally closing off my escape route, right? You always want to have an escape route when you drive. You want to have, be able to move left and be able to move right, just in case a hazard pops up in front of you. You never know. It could be a big pothole. Somebody could have left something in the road. It could have been a chair that falls off the street. I've seen all kind of crazy things. And some things I've had to hit because other people are just so in their own space, in their own head, that there's nowhere you can go except hit the hazard in front of you. And think about that in life, right? If you need a way of escape, but there's no way of escape because what if other people are doing, then you have to be that much wiser, that much smarter to understand that if I'm 5, 6 moves ahead, I know if I do this, it's going to affect life this way. But if I do that, it's going to affect life this way. And there's different paths it can go down if I take this left, the decision on the left. And there's other paths it can go down if I take the decision on the right. Right? So I just want to remind you today, if you've never done this, to start planning your day accordingly. Now, you can't plan it all out because you don't know exactly what people are going to do, but just start thinking like that. If I do this, what will happen? If I do that, what will happen? And how will you react to what happens? Because all those things come into play, right? It's not just about my decisions. It's about my decisions and how they affect others. And others' decisions and how they affect me, right? So that's all I want to do today is remind you guys to start thinking ahead. Start thinking ahead. Be strategic about life because it can be gone in a second, especially when people get offended about any little thing nowadays. So I hope that you receive that message, that you start to think ahead and start producing those results because, I just let you know it's hard, man. It's stressful, man. It's stressful always thinking the what if or what's going to happen and what will happen, but it keeps you out of trouble, right? If you have problems with getting in trouble, with giving into temptation, with, playing with things you shouldn't play with, then this is the way to live. You're going to have to do a little bit more work. You're going to have to think a little bit more. You have to be a lot more strategic, a lot more planned out, but it will pay off in the end. So